Hello. In this video, I'm going to be reading a poem I wrote called Peddlers and Prognosticators in Jackson Square. The wind blew off the delta, cool and sweet, with the smell of New Orleans. The freaks danced through Jackson Square while peddlers hawked their wares. Seers sold their fortunes and street musicians played their hearts out. A note for a dime, a song for $1. A bag lady sat on the steps of Jackson Square Park. The black wrought iron gates, locked for the evening in St. Paul's Cathedral, was closed to visitors. There was no sanctuary here. My first taste of New Orleans, but not my last. The French Quarter in all its drunken majesty was opening up as night fell. Revelers scrambled for colorful plastic beads. Lovers walked hand in hand. Drunks nursed cups of beer. It was everything I expected and much, much more. New Orleans, New Orleans, city of mystery and magic, city of corruption, city of culture and life. I fell in love with just one look, one drink of the water, one breath of the air. So tragic in your beauty, the dirt and grime painting a portrait, adding color and life. The laughing of the crowd, the songs of the street musicians, the call of the police sirens, all a symphony to a country boy's ears. I sat there on the mesh metal bench, looking around, drinking all this in, wandering, dreaming, seduced by all this. I knew I had to leave soon, had to go back to my mundane life, had to continue my journey, but I knew I'd return, come back to revisit the magic, to relive this tragic beauty that lives on the Mississippi Delta. Now, how this poem came about, the story behind this poem, it was, I think, the weekend before Mardi Gras, 1999. I was working in a call center. We were doing surveys for this shop repair part company, and I'd use it to call people I knew. And my friend Michelle Stoll, who I talked about in a couple previous videos, the day she stood at the edge of the sea, and late Christmas Eve morning, I found out that she was going to be in New Orleans visiting a mutual friend of ours named Eric Holt. He just recently gotten his master's in library sciences and was working for a library in a little city called Laplace, which is west of New Orleans. So I decided I was going to go down there. I just invited myself down. And I hadn't seen Eric in a while, hadn't seen her in a while and stuff. So, hey, what the hell? I was young and, didn't have anything to do, relatively speaking, that weekend. And I'd never been to New Orleans, and I'd always wanted to go. I grew up in Central Arkansas. It's about a 7-hour drive down there. So it was close. It's always been part of my culture, so to speak. Like, I remember the song Battle of New Orleans by Johnny Horton. We had this Johnny Horton's Greatest Hits LP, on vinyl. And, that and North to Alaska was, Battle of New Orleans and North to Alaska was my two favorite songs. And I've always been a big history buff. And without that city, this area wouldn't be what it is. It's a very interesting place. I'll tell you, I've really liked my first experience there. As you can tell, I came home and wrote a poem about it. And I've been back since then. When I was in the Navy, Navy, I was stationed in Pascagoula, which is about an hour drive or so from there. And me and my roommate went there a couple times. My sister came down to visit, her and her fiance at the time, and went there and had a good time. Then me and my ex-wife went on vacation one time and went there, and that was the last time I was there, 2015, and want to go back sometime soon. Anyways, to get into the poem a little bit, I tried to set the mood, what I was feeling at the time, because if you've ever been there, it does have a particular odor, which, you know, at times can be not unpleasant. And, you know, I tried to get the all the images, because you got the, you know, New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz, so the street musicians are, you know, really important there. You know, I was just imagining these streets I was walking on, you know, the great originators of jazz were doing their thing a century before then. And it was a very overwhelming, you know, for someone who grew up in Podunk, Arkansas. You know, earlier in my childhood, I'd lived in a big city, Fayetteville, North Carolina, but, you know, that was kind of thrust on me when I went down there. It was of my own volition, just, you know, having an adventure, you know, and it's a venture I hope I get to have again. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me an old thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Thank you very much.